So, um, according to the topic here, police extortion of road users and intimidation of victims, I've actually been a victim, and I reside in Anambra State. In Anambra State, so I've actually been a victim in Anambra. I've been a victim in Oka as a student because I could clearly remember my first encounter with these guys. I was inside Keke going to the market. So on my way back now, it's not even that I was even dressing all flashy, or I was just inside. So this guy stopped the keke and brought me down. And the next thing, they told the keke man to move. That's their normal mode of operating. That's their normal mode of operating. So after dismissing the keke man now, so they now brought me inside their car, one tinted car like that, one Sienna. Immediately I got inside, I saw another guy. The guy was already handcuffed. So these guys were not like, "Where's my phone?" And I gave them my phone. That time I was using iPhone XR. And I just literally bought that phone. It's not like they even saw anything on me. I just bought the phone. The receipt was with me. So then I said that I'm a fraudster, that I'm going to reach their station. So as a young, naive guy now, I was just like very scared. And I was telling these people that, see, I did not do anything. I just recently bought this phone. They did not even allow me to say anything. So as we were going, they were intimidating me, telling me that they're going to lock me up and frustrate my life if I should not cooperate. So at the end of everything, I had to just cooperate, and they told me I was going to pay them. Was it 2 million? I was telling these guys, 2 million. Where did I keep 2 million that I want to pay you people? I don't even have. I've never even seen that amount in my life. So that the only money I have in my account is just because that I recently got admission. So the only money I had in my account was for my school fees and lodge payment. I was literally begging these guys to free me, that I did not do anything. These guys refused. They collected the phone, told me to go and withdraw. That time I was at my ATM, so I just had to go and withdraw. And after withdrawing, I brought them the cash and gave it to them. And to tell you that these guys actually knows what they are doing. Then I had to drive me back to the place that they picked me from and told me that they will help me and cross the second checkpoint, because they should just drop me along the road, that the other guys, they are going to pick me up again and extort me. So they now drove me past the second checkpoint and dropped me there, gave me my phone and my bag. So my second experience here in Oka, that was last year, yes. So I was in my brother's car, and we were just, I think we went to buy something, and we are coming back. So we sighted these guys. Immediately we sighted them. There was one red car that sighted them first. The car now turned. So we are now laughing at the car, and we're now saying, why is this one running? And based on clear conscience, and like, because we are not with drugs, we are not with Indian hemp or even anything. So we're just laughing. And my brother was saying, should we go? I told him that you should go now. Why are you scared of? So he now said, okay. Now my brother now proceeded. Immediately we got there, these guys asked us to come down. We came down. They asked for the car papers, which my brother presented, and gave him the car papers. They looked at it, asked for driving license. My brother gave it to them. They asked us, why is the car tinted? So, and basically, the real truth is that that car belongs to my mom. So, and we told them that we have medical reports, and true, my mom is having, what do they even call it? Is it cataract or what? This eye issue something. So we gave it to them, and after checking, these guys now said that there's no engine number on the car. And this is all these new modern cars that you cannot even, for you to even get the engine number, you just have to tear the engine into different parts. It's not like all this old model car that you can just look at the engine. So we explained to them, and that we've been driving this car to Enugu, Asaba, Port Harcourt, and different places, that no police has asked us for this engine number. Because if the engine number was actually needed, I'm sure that the people issuing the papers will not issue the paper if you not provide them the engine number. You understand? So these guys are not like, no, that we're going to reach station. So also now, me, I refused, because at least now I think I know a little bit about the law, and I know about my right now. So I refused them, and I told them that I'm not going anywhere with them. that we did not commit any offense. Our car papers are complete. You did not see us with any drug or any implicating stuff, and you are requesting for us to reach the station. So that's why we refused. These guys were not like, they were not charging at us. One fair one man came down from the bus, was not asking, what's the delay all about? What are we still waiting for? That's how from there, this guy now started shouting, what do you do for a living? And I told him that I'm still a student, and I'm also currently doing business with my mom because my dad is already late. So we had to be included in the business to know how it runs. So that's why this guy brought out talk through, and they were just hitting me and my brother and my friends, like pushing us inside the vehicle because they already collected the key of the vehicle. They are now pushing us inside their bus, and us, we are now shouting, help, help, help. So immediately they saw that we are not creating scene now. The other one now, I think their supervisor now told them, make una leave them. So that's how they left us. That day, and we just ran out from the scene. And there was one army checkpoint at front. I went to the army checkpoint and I was begging them that these people, that there are some policemen that were harassing us and they want to leave with our car. So army people talk say they no fit put mouth for police matter. Could you imagine? They don't want to spoil police business. Which business are you spoiling? Business of your fellow citizen being extorted. So that's why this guy was saying that they no fee, or can I pay 50K for them to go and intervene? I told them that I don't have that money. I don't have that amount. So that's how, but to God be the glory, they just dropped the car key on top of the car and zoomed off with their boss to tell you that these guys knows what they are doing. And I forgot to make mention of that's how my brother lost his phone, his iPhone 14 Pro. Because that time that the whole thing was escalating, he wanted to make call. That's how they slapped him, collected his iPhone and switched it off. Up to date, we did not recover that phone. Those guys did not even identify themselves. They were carrying one long white Toyota Hiace bus. This thing happened in Oka, Stanel. I'm sure that some of you people would know this place I'm talking about now, along Stanel Road. No way to even identify them and trace them to their station. That's how they left and we lost that phone. And the last encounter that I'm going to say my brothers had again, because but I'm going to thank God that it not even, that one did not happen to me, because that time I was very sick, like very, very sick. And it was still that last year, December last year. Yes, I remember. December 2nd, I remember. So I was very sick that period, and I told my brother to help me and go and buy food. So along the line, I was supposed to even follow them, and I say, no, that they should go and come back. They should go. So my elder brother and my junior brother left with my friend, because my friend was at our place. So they left now to go and get food. And all of a sudden, my junior brother ran back home. No slippers, nothing, no phone. He was like a madman, and he told me that the police just carried my elder brother and my friend. I was not asking him how. He even told him that he ran away, that there was one accident. Accident happened along Aroma. This thing is happening in Oka. If some of you know Aroma, accident happened there. So all the whole vehicles were now taking one way, and to them, they were also applying one way. It's not like they just all of a sudden decided to take one way. There was an accident, so for the only means for traffic to flow is that one way, and every vehicle was taking. So I'm just going to say maybe they were unlucky that day, and these guys, they always have their eyes on flashy cars. So that's how they were blocked. Now, and he said that immediately they blocked them, because my junior brother was the one that was not narrating everything to me. That immediately they blocked them, the first thing they did was they collected all their phones, and that was how he now ran away and came back home. He even left his slipper. They collected all their phones. So as he came back now, I was not tracking his phone location to my phone, because he's using an iPhone and we're basically sharing all our locations. So I was not tracking, because I was not asking him, who are these guys? He said he doesn't even know them, that they were just putting on bulletproof vests, special force, no means of identification. So that's why I was not tracking the phone, because they were with his phone. So I now tracked them to Ugbo, this anti-court police station in Ugbo. So and I said, okay, they are in anti-court. So But due to I was not feeling fine. I just have to leave everything, and it was already late. Well, it was not really that late. Sha. Everything was happening around 8. So before they could get to the station, it was already to 10. So the next day now, I now decided to go to the station to go and bail them out. When I got to the station, like I could not recognize these guys. Like I could not recognize them. My friend, if you see his wrist, he already has injuries. Like they had to hang this boy. They hanged this boy. Like I was trying to comprehend what's wrong in this country. They hanged this boy for applying one way. I was so short of words. These officers were very rude, and the first thing they would do if you enter the station, they'll seize your phone. They'll ask you if you are not with phone, or if you are with phone, you submit it. Before you talk to anybody that's inside the cell, you have to pay them to show you the level of impunity that's going on in this country. You have to pay them. So I gave them the money now, and I called my brother's name and my friend's name. Then I went to the station to bring them out. Immediately they brought them out, and I went. But I happened to know their commander in that station. So I was not insisting I want to speak with their commander. So I now went and met their commander. The man asked me that what's their crime. I told the man that they did not do anything. It was one way, and two, the one way it was not even intentionally applied. That there was an accident on that road, and every vehicle was doing one way. So the man now said, "Okay, that who owns the car?" I told him that the car is my friend that is driving the car. So he now said that it belongs to his brother. The brother that has a furniture shop in Onitsha. So he now asked if the car papers are complete and everything. Yes, they were complete. He even had his driver's license on him. Everything was complete. He now instructed to one of his men to free them that he knows me. So I now went out now. These officers were now like, the guy was not like, you don't hear what your guy talk now. Say, make I help you. So how much you will pay? I was not saying pay like how. Waiting these guys do. These guys don't do anything. And just one way. Why they treat them like criminal? He was not even paying attention. So after all said and done now, these guys, the guy now requested for 100k. The guy that was in charge of the case, he now requested for 100k POS. So I did the transfer, and they now brought them out of the cell. But mind you, they took my junior brother's phone, because that night they were three. My elder brother, my junior brother, and my friend. But my junior brother ran away. So they collected his phone. So they were now insisting that my junior brother has to show face. At first, the guy even denied, because when we requested for my junior brother's phone, the guy denied that he's not with it. So my elder brother was now raising his voice, like we are now raising our voice in the station that he should go and provide that phone. That I personally tracked that phone, and that phone is in this station before they switched it off. So he was now saying that, okay, before he even released the phone, that my junior brother has to come. So I now went back to the Oga's office. The man now said that my junior brother has to come and claim his phone, so they will know to avoid theft now or claiming another person's belonging. And I said, okay. So as we now went home, I was now asking my friend, how come? What happened to your wrist? So my friend now said that these guys took him to their backyard where they used to torture. He said that at first, when they brought them out of the cell, these guys were now videoing them that look at the kidnappers, see kidnappers who will intercept, and then they go terrorize Oka, and then they go steal, see them, we intercepted them last night. That was the video they made of them before they now took him to the backyard. They now told him that he should cooperate, else they're going to deal with him. So they're not asking him who owns the car. He told them that car belongs to his brother, which he showed them. The papers are complete, everything complete. His driving license is even there. But these guys refused to believe him. They were insisting that if you say that car is a stolen vehicle, that's how they hanged him. They had to handcuff him. There's the way they put his leg inside his two hands, handcuffed him, and used rope to drag him up with his whole weight. So his whole weight was just resting on his hand. That's why he was screaming. My brother was telling me that he was even inside the station, hearing the way my friend was screaming at the backyard. Then now asking him if he's a cultist. He told them no. They kept on touching him. They're not asking him if he's a fraudster. He told them no, that he's not into fraud. They told him that if he knows what is best for him, that he should just agree to the allegations and pay the bail term. So that's how this boy now agreed to what he did not know. So then I told my senior brother that if he doesn't cooperate, maybe he's hearing the way that other guy is shouting, that it's going to be his own turn. So it's better for him to just cooperate and write whatever they tell him to write in that statement. So that's how my brother cooperated and wrote everything to avoid the torture. But I thank God that we were able to bail them.
That's such a harrowing experience you just narrated, especially this last one. And
Yeah.
we're sorry about that. We have our guest speaker who has joined us, Shegun
Uh,
Olawe. He has been at the forefront of fighting for victims of police extortion, and recently he embarked on a campaign to be putting road signs on major roads to avoid a situation where police will have to see the opportunity to capitalize to arrest road users. So, Mr. Shegun Olawe, is still with us? Hello, Shegun Olawe, are you still with us? I think we lost him. So while we are waiting for him, can you just have another person who has been a victim of police extortion? You can just unmute and talk. If you have a personal experience with the police, you can just unmute and talk.
Hello.
Yeah, you're
Good
welcome. You have the floor.
afternoon to everybody. Actually, I have a bad experience, but not too bad because I was once arrested by a police. But the way they actually attacked me and the way they intimidated me, the way they picked me, I was shocked. And that was my first time of being arrested in my life. Because when they came, they raised arms, so many kind of arms, cutlass, sticks, gun, so many things. They surrounded me in front of my house. So immediately I saw that someone once told me that. So someone once told me that if you see police officers carrying arms and they surround you, don't attempt to run because they will kill you, and it doesn't matter. So I just stand and they came, they picked me, they took us to the station, and we are even many. So what they did is that they have different cells. Cells for ordinary, normal criminals, cells for armed robbers and the rest. So if they feel that you have harassed them or you are embarrassing them, what they do is that they throw you into the hardened criminal so that they will beat you to the extent that you may hardly get used to yourself. So immediately I saw that, I make sure that I show them ID card, I show them everything, but they still locked me until the following day before someone came in. And they were even planning to take me to the court because they he can get me, but the people were arrested together with some of them are taken to prison while others were seriously beaten. So actually this issue is not just one-sided, or it's just an attitude of the police. They have that attitude of molesting and harassing people, but thank God to the end it has made them to learn their lesson, and they have just started taking correction, small, but not all, but at least they are taking little correction. Because recently I have an encounter with the police. They seems to be conducting themselves. They are somehow behaving a bit matured, and they are even trying to even cool themselves. They were asking questions politely, and they are even trying as much as possible to even guide you. No, this is not what you do. This is what you should do. This is the right thing, and this is the wrong thing. And we police will always make sure that. So I seriously feel, is this Nigerian police? Or is someone that comes from abroad that give them some kind of training so that at least they will start behaving themselves? Because police, actually, they are terrorists. Thank you very much. That's my little contribution, what I have to say. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your contribution. Actually, the NSAS protest really yielded results, but not as much as people wanted. So not as much as people wanted, but we just to continue the conversation and to ensure that at least we see a bit of sanity in the Nigerian police force. Mr. Ashagolawi, can you hear us now? Olo, can you hear us now? Shagolawi is a guest speaker, and as I said earlier, he is leading a campaign currently leading a campaign to put road signs on major roads to reduce police extortion of road users. So he has quite a number of experience, personal experience, and people who he has helped out of the police coffers. Mr. Ashagolawi, it seems he's having a network difficulty. Not sure.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, we can hear you now. You're welcome.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I've been struggling with between earpiece and the microphone of the phone. So I was looking out for which of them is going to work. So I'm so sorry I joined a bit late because I'm on the road. As I speak, I just left a welder's place because we are busy constructing more to be erected on the roads. We want to mount as many as possible along all the popular places or spots where police officers lay siege to
Uh,
extort people.
just not to cut you, but can you just tell us what inspired this ongoing campaign you are doing and how far have you gone with it?
The motivation is the daily harrowing experiences of people who tell their experiences whenever they come between Ogun and Lagos State. And usually it is Lagos State with the BRT monitoring team. Sometimes they even go outside of the BRT lane to arrest people who are not even veering into the BRT lane. And it can be annoying, it can be provoking at the same time. So a lot of people, you know how tense the economy is right now, how ridiculous the economic situation is, and police still wants to hold you to ransom and extort you. So sometimes you hear some people who say, "Oh, I'm an international commuter. I'm just driving from Ibadan. I drove through Abeokuta. We are just exploring. We drove through Ibadan to Abeokuta to Shagamu and then bust out at for Songo, Joju. And then by the time we go to Abule Egba, all these are federal roads, you know. You are driving on federal road innocently. You did not expect that there will still be some section of a federal road that will be restricted for only certain buses called BRT. And to top it, there will still be no sign. So you are driving from Songo, for instance, on a federal road. You are going towards Lagos. You didn't know that as you are descending one certain Abule Egba bridge, that you are facing directly a road you are not supposed to enter on a federal road, created by the state government without sign. And the question I'm asking is because this is indicting to Lamata, because this is clear case of fraud, that you create, you will cut federal road into two. You take a portion, and that portion you are not even letting people know with a sign. How much is a liter of white paint just to write BRT only? They failed. So if an organization, a parastatal agency, ministry, department, whatever you call them, deliberately ignore to use just less than a liter paint, a liter volume of paint to just write BRT only, do not enter. You fail to do that, but you prefer to fuel task force monitoring BRT monitoring vehicle with some godo inside the BRT lane, waiting ahead, laying siege. You prefer that one to just put in a simple note with less than a liter of paint cost. Then it is deliberate fraud. This is a case of a deliberate fraud. Nothing else can, let's not pontificate. It's deliberate fraud. Because Lamata cannot say they don't know about this. Lagos State government cannot say they don't know about it. Because where do all these monies go? Lamata created BRT lane and they deliberately refuse to put sign that don't enter on a federal road. So that's why I concluded that these people are our opponents, nothing else. Those people in government are not for us. They are deliberately, they constituted themselves to be enemies, opponents of the people, oppressing, laying siege, acting as predators, taking their citizens as prey on daily basis. And they have it almost at almost every 1 or 2 kilometers. They have these spots there. Before you drive up to 5 kilometers, you will meet another spot. And how else do you explain this? You have people come and greet you in Ogun State, and they will call you as we beat them. Oh, bye bye. Later we see. They will call you some minutes after to say, oh, they have been arrested. They are paying 70K, or they have been taken by a joint task force team from BRT. They say they are from monitoring BRT lane, and they are taking them to one place to go and extort them. How many times will you need to hear this kind of reports before you act? So, and the moment it has now been confirmed that it is a deliberate fraud, because if you go and do an assessment of this situation, you know this is deliberate fraud. Now that you know it, what then do you do? Since government does not want to do it, what then should we citizens do for ourselves? Now that we know that we are the targets as prey, what should we therefore do? Don't we have to look out for ourselves? We look out for ourselves, therefore. And that's exactly what motivated this movement, that we have to now start going from spot to spot. Every spot we can identify that these people lay siege to extort innocent citizens and commuters who are just, driving to go to their daily business. Do you know how many Uber drivers have also been extorted? Somebody has been at the work since morning till evening, take passenger and is almost dropping them off at their estate. And then you railroad them and take all the money they have worked for since morning, you collect it from them. Who does that? Enemy. So if governments have deliberately constituted themselves as enemies, what then should we do as responsible citizens? Are you the mic for now, please?
Before you yield the mic finally, you started from Lagos. How many places in Lagos have you done, and do you are you going to extend this to other states as well, at least neighboring states?
Yes, we are getting feedback, so it depends on how many places where people are identifying and spotting for us. So, as I speak with you, I'm at a welder's place. I had to move away because the sound of the generating set is just too much. We are still busy constructing, and I mean that is to the extent that my own financial capacity can take me. So we want to see along from between Super Bus Stop. That is the first place we did, and Oshodi. We have identified a number of spots already. I want to make sure that we fill those ones out. Once we are done with that, we face Ikorodu Road, because we are also getting reports from Ikorodu. If you are going from Ketu towards Ikorodu, we have received reports that some of these officers will deliberately create traffic ahead on the public road. They will now send some agents who are on Mufti to be diverting people into the BRT to say, oh, the road is blocked ahead, oh, follow this BRT lane. Oh. As you enter, they will now give signal to the ones who are in uniform ahead to extort you. By the time you start explaining, but it's one of you that said I should enter ahead, they will say, no, we don't know him. In fact, by the time you look back to say you want to show them the person that directed you to enter, that one has disappeared too. You will explain, tire, no evidence. You have to pay. And the minimum they have extorted is 70,000 naira. In fact, somebody reported that they were three friends driving. They collected 70,000 from three of them, 210,000 naira in less than 5 minutes. So calculate that by the number of how many victims they extort per day along every corridor where there's BRT. So it is something that we have to also put at the door of Lamata, because Lamata is culpable in this fraud. Why is there no sign, clear sign that this is BRT lane? And wherever there is, why remove it to go and now place task force men ahead inside the lane? Why do that if it is not an attempt to deliberately be extorting people? Thank you.
So this seems like a coordinated move from the officers and whoever they are working with. So as citizens or organizations, what can be done at least to ensure transparency within the police system?
Well, I'm not a police officer. I cannot answer for policemen. Uh, they also know that people are crying about these things every day. But because that is how they make their own money, we understand that police officers are not well paid. But at the same time, it is not the fault of the citizens that police officers are not well paid. So the citizens are not the direct employers. Yes, they are the employers of all civil servants, because they are using their tax to the citizens' tax to pay salaries of civil servants, public servants, and whoever they are. But at the same time, the people responsible for the administration of salary and wages payments, who have refused to pay them living wage, are the ones that we are all supposed to confront. It's not therefore for police and whoever to now turn at the citizens and be extorting them because those who employed you directly are not paying you well. Let us all face and say, increase the wage of police officers. But again, even if we do that, it is the same police officers who they will send to come and tear gas people who are protesting for them to earn living wage. So it is time we now start, we change tactics every time. I think this is the time the method has to change to blocking whatever loopholes they have created. So it's not for me to answer whether how do we check transparency of police and all that. They know what they are doing. If they don't want there to be transparency, is their making. They deliberately designed it to be so. So what matters to me right now is, let us therefore design what helps us as citizens from the outside, so that we look out for ourselves. We don't care whether police doesn't need it anymore. Do you know how long we have been agitating against extortion, police brutality? We all know what led to answers. Extortion, brutality. It's the same thing. It's just changing style, changing method, changing name, changing location, changing color, changing face. But it's the same brutality and extortion. I listened to Dracula while I was trying to boost up my phone, charging it, explaining how for mere traffic offense that somebody drove one way, that they had to chain the person, hang him, use even handcuff. For the reason of what? Traffic offense. What is the maximum punishment, even if someone commits a traffic offense? By law. What is the maximum punishment for traffic offense? That you have to now subject human being to undignifying, harrowing experience? This is impunity. And by every way, method, and form, shape, whatever, it has to be stopped. So you can't push people to the extent that they punch into the wall and continue to run inside the wall. No, they must have to turn back and do something for themselves. So if people are afraid to protest, because now people are afraid due to what happened at NSAS, the shooting, the killing, and all that, the confrontation, at least this is a simpler method. We are not fighting anybody. We are just showing the sign that government failed to do. It's just an intervention. We are looking out for ourselves. What government failed to do, we are doing by ourselves, so that the government can become irrelevant. Let's make government since they want to be irrelevant, make them irrelevant. And let's look out for ourselves. After all, people now erect gate at their own estates. People now grade their roads. I'm so sorry. Can you still hear me?
Okay, we can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. Calls are just coming in from people all over. So because a lot of people are tired, you understand it. So if people are already designing, making their own interventions, I think it's just okay to then just go full length. Let's make government completely irrelevant. They don't want to be relevant other than to become predators, to be preying on the citizens. So what then can we do else than to just start making government irrelevant? Whatever we can do for ourselves, we do. We create drainages by ourselves. We grade our roads by ourselves. We buy fuel. They even increase the cost again of fuel to power our generating set. We buy inverter, solar, independent electricity. We drill borehole, no public potable water. We get security for ourselves. What are the duties of government again? We have done all of them. What else? So what else? So let us make them irrelevant. Thank you.
That's a powerful submission or intervention there, making government relevant. So we like to take experiences from one or two people before we close for the day, and we don't know if Mr. Olawe can just hang around to the end of the event. So why? Oh, no, is that okay? Yemi, if you are still there,
Yes, I'm still here. Good morning.
all right. So you have the floor briefly.
Good morning from this side. I just have a quick question because when I was living in the UK, I worked as a police officer for the London Metropolitan Police. So I don't know if there's any police officer here for the Nigerian police force or anyone related to them or any political figure on this space. My question is, what are the things being put in place to actually change the Nigerian police force? Because to me, there are some times whenever I can't remember his name, the officer that used to say Ireo, I can't remember his name. Whenever someone reports extortion about a police officer, instead of dismissing that police officer by obviously firing them, take them to court, and then they go to jail, all you get is, oh, this officer has been demoted. Based on my experience as a police officer, I know one senior officer who was actually sent to prison for 7 years for collecting bribe. So why can't things like this be put in place to flush out the bad apples from the Nigerian police force? Also, what's stopping the Nigerian police force from equipping their officers with body camera? This is 2025. I, as an ex-officer, I remember there was a time I did a stop and search on two youths, and during that period, my body cam went off. But luckily for me, my sergeant was there. She witnessed everything, because when I got back to the station, she was shocked that my camera went off. And she said, that's fine, I witnessed everything. I'll just tell the inspector what happened. And I know with body cameras, you can easily turn it off. But if you turn it off, it's a crime. So what's stopping the Nigerian police force from equipping their officers with body camera? And what's also stopping them from taking them to court, and the judge should send them to prison for taking bribes? Because every time it's always it's either they take bribe, they beat someone. I've never been a victim directly, because whenever I come home with my police badge. But one of my cousin brother has been a victim. On his way home from work, he was picked up for no reason, and then we had to bail him out the following morning. What can be done? Because I know the last week I said we should just forget the government. We really can't forget the government, because obviously the police is part of the government. So what are they doing? What is Mr. Ireo or Mr. Bright or Mr. Benjamin? What are they doing to actually curb all these menace in the police force? Thank you.
Even though those are questions, there are at least there are suggestive reforms for the police to take actions on. Not sure if Mr. Lawoye can speak now. If you can respond to you, maybe one or two based on your question, which I see as reforms. So before then, let's just take Prince G. Prince G, are you still there? How about okay, crypto pays? Yeah.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone
Yeah, briefly, please. Yeah.
from Nigeria. Yeah, I had a terrible experience in 2019. Can you hear me, please?
Yeah, we can hear you, but there seems to be a little interference from your audio.
I don't have anything on here actually. It's hello. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you can make a submission briefly.
Okay. In 2019, I, I had a terrible experience. I actually had a property somewhere where I was putting up a business, and it happened that I just collected a loan and worth almost 2 million naira then to invest it in that business. So I needed to travel a short distance to go get interlocking blocks. I drove down, for part of the construction work going on that land. So on my way back, I was driving back to the office, and I was stopped by some policemen. And in fact, I was with my company ID card. They stopped me, they searched, and they asked me to identify myself. I was careful enough not to show them the company ID card because I happen to work with the multinational, and if I do that, because of course, Nigerian police, if I do that, that will mean, ideally, if I do that, they should allow me to go, seeing that this is a responsible man, and I don't think there is any exhibit, you can find any exhibit with him. But I was careful enough to show them my ID card because seeing my ID card, they will know where I work, and that will mean they will have start obtaining me. Because sincerely speaking, I've had a terrible experience with Nigerian police, and I don't like them a bit. I'm sorry to say. So, um, instantly, I was asked to come down from the vehicle. I did. They did for that search. They couldn't find anything incriminating. So I had to hide my ID card from them because I know what that would result to. And then all of a sudden, they asked, one of them asked his colleague, the guy searching asked his colleague to join me in the front seat. That they need to take me to their office. I said, for what? I just introduced myself and I'm going back to work. So I instantly, it dawned on me that just, I've just been given a loan of almost 2 million naira, and the alert is there on my phone. And if they request on my phone, that would be suicidal for me. So I was trying to hide my phone, you know. So eventually, um, his colleague joined me and they asked me to do a turn back from the direction I was coming from. And that's the direction that leads to their office, to their station. So at some point I was arguing with them. I said, no, I can't go. Where are you taking me to? You're all on black and black, not more like the official uniform. I should know where you're taking me to. Before you know what's happening, they opened fire. And they almost started tagging me to be a criminal, that you will follow us to our office. You will see what we'll do to you. And at that point, the created scene, people were just watching. I was just in my forerunner, and then, I was like, what's all this? So somehow, another of the colleagues had to take the steering from me. And they pushed me into their own. No, they took me to the back seat, and two of the policemen were just side by side me, one on my right, one on my left. Another two of them, the front seats, and one driving. They took me straight down to their office.
we were driving slowly while we were going. They were talking. This. At some point, they took me to their station, and before we got there, I started pretending to be very sick. I started fidgeting, and I told them, "I am sick, and if you continue this, we should be ready to, you know, to carry a dead person." So the way I was behaving, one of them was like, "Okay, what do you have? How much do you have?" I said, "I don't have any money on me." I said, "Okay, if you want money, let me call my co-in-law to send money to you guys." They refused, and I know why they refused, because of course that has to be transferred, and that could be very indicting. So they refused. And while I was doing that, I was fidgeting like I was cold. Even during the hot afternoon, they saw me that I wasn't looking to fine. I was sweating, tears was dropping. Okay, before then, at that point, they asked me to turn. One of them gave me a very, very hot slap. At that point in time, I couldn't hear again. The only thing I was just hearing was just the humming of sound. I couldn't see properly. I couldn't hear properly. That even when you start talking to me, I can hardly hear you instantly. You know. So the shock of that slap, you know, got me so, so sick that I became very uncomfortable. And in as much as at some point I was pretending to be sick, but at that point my body system changed. I felt sick truly, but I had to, take it out of proportion for them to feel maybe this slap gave to this guy. If we don't do something as quickly as possible to discharge him, let this guy not come and die in our custody. So at that point, I told them, "I'm feeling very sick right now." So what's the issue? Do I have any health challenge before now? I told them yes. And the slap that your colleague gave to me has really affected me. I can't even hear properly. I can't see properly. So at that point, I started asking, "How much do you have?" I told them, "I don't have any money on me." The God helped me that day. That they never had access to my phone. And I think I had two phones on me, and the one I was actually showing to them, I don't have my alert on it. So eventually, they refused that my co-in-law transfer money to them. I told them, "If you can't accept that, I'm sorry, I don't have anything in my account. I don't have any cash on me." So one of them now called the other. I don't know what conversation they had, and eventually he came to me and said, "Okay, you can now go. Can you find your way back? This, that." They actually took me to their station. In fact, for hours I was there. My colleagues were expecting me to back the office. They were calling. There was no way they could reach out to me. At that point, I had to put my phone on flight mode so that the phone doesn't ring while I was with them. All this I did at a very early stage because I was trying to avoid a situation where they will have access to my phone. It was terrible to the point that for months I couldn't hear properly. I almost lost my eardrum. It took close to like 6 months for me to start hearing again after several treatments. I wanted to take it up. I wanted to sue them, and I was advised not to proceed because these guys are dangerous. They could trace me and they could get me again. So at that point in time, I, I ended. I came back to the story. It was terrible. It was pathetic. And Nigerian police are doing more harm than good. We have people that them, but they are very few. If I see Nigerian police, I I prefer to take another route than going through that route, because they could turn everything within an eyes and call you criminal, and they take you to their office and they turn everything. They call you Yahoo boy, they call you criminal, they call you kidnapper. So when I see them, I'm always very careful. Be it I'm driving, and I think what our brother is doing, I saw his video online. He's doing a very good job, and we as citizens, I think the earlier we start, whatever state we find ourselves, the earlier we start, doing towing the same line to support what he's doing, because it's not just Lagos. This thing is across the entire country. The better. We have them here in Port Harcourt. I'm calling from Port Harcourt. We have them here in Port Harcourt. They're terrible people. They're terrible people. Thank you. I have several nasty experiences. Even when the guy came to burgle my house, I was asked to take him to the police station. Somehow, I never wanted to do that before I could say anything. They took him. Before I could get to the house, they took him to the police station. And you can imagine, Nigerian police were telling me they're interested in the case. Before you know what was happening, they started extorting me. I should bring money for paper. I should bring money for pen. I should bring money that they will charge him to court. Even though I insisted that I shouldn't charge him to court, they insisted they were interested in the case. I should bring money to charge him to court. To my great surprise, after spending money, 3 days later, I saw this guy along my street driving keke. It was funny. At that point, I knew that these citizens are really in danger in the hands of these guys. So I want to believe with the little we're doing across the states, there'll be change, but it's going to take time. It's going to take you and I to put in our best to ensure that we stop them from this going forward. So thank you.
You really made a very beautiful experience. I couldn't hear some of the things you said, but I hope everybody is not like that from everybody saying that. Honorable Ibrahim Rabiu, you've been raising your hand up for a while. Can you quickly have your submission?
Okay, thank you very much. Good afternoon or evening. Well, actually, I wanted to respond to the last speaker who just asked some questions regarding Nigerian police, and I wanted to respond as a politician or people that are in government. You see, the reason why police are not supposed to be fixed or given the right thing or allowed to do the right thing is because they are working for the people in power, not working for the country. Because anytime you have issue with anybody or you have problems with anybody, you don't allow them to do what is right, but you give them instruction. That is why you now decide to give them some kind of pay that is not even enough because you want to make them go and steal or even siphon from other people. And anytime they talk, you now use that against them and tell them that, look, I saw that time you have collected bribe from so person. We blink our face away. So this time around is our turn. Do this for us and do that for us. So unless and until we voted for the right people to the power before we could be able to get police treat us well, because those people who are in power, they always make sure that, okay, this police officer, if I give them the right thing and make sure that they do the right thing, I will be the first person they will arrest because they want to show everybody as an example. Or they may arrest my child because one way or another in the past we have made one mistake or another. So they will now use us on the process of investigating one case or another. we are going to be the victim. So that is why politicians, they don't want police to be correct, because they always are the ones making those mistakes. They are the ones being corrupt. They are the ones stealing money. They are the ones doing all the rough things. They are the ones that will legally kill somebody, and they will call, hey, my friend, release that guy, don't detain him. Yes, allow him. I said you should allow him. So all those things are coming from the politicians, and politicians are the ones that will now give the police the right thing, the right equipment, and pay them well, so that at least they work for the nation, not for individual. So they were put in a corner in such a way that they will come begging and pleading for some help, and they will be, the top officers will be given huge amount of money, while the officers on the ground who are doing the job will be constrained, and they will be, even they will penalize poverty and hunger against them, so that at least any instruction you give them, they will prepare to do it than to go home and remain without a job. So all those things you are seeing, not that they don't know how to fix it. We know how to fix it, but the problem is that if we fix it, it's going to be against us. So briefly, actually, this is what I wanted to say, and I believe other people might have some other things to say, but I think these are the little problems we're having. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you for your submission. Ken Uti.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
You're welcome. Very, very briefly, please, because of our time.
Yes, I'll be brief. I
All
mean,
right.
we all have experiences regarding the Nigerian police and how they've, you know, I would say, effectively underrepresented the people of Nigeria and underserved Nigeria. The statistics is there. The fact is there. We have over 300,000 policemen in Nigeria, and over 150,000 of them are attached to VIPs. What does that tell you? It tells you that the Nigerian police force of today is not for, they are not there to serve Nigerians, the populace itself, like the last speaker has said, and that is very correct. The only way you don't have police problem in Nigeria today is if you're a big man, you're a politician, you have money. That's the only way you avoid police problem in Nigeria. I have an experience with them. I mean, I'll be very brief with it. About 10 years ago, 11 years ago, I was driving with my siblings in the car, and a bunch of policemen stopped me on the road. I was very angry with them for stopping me. I didn't know why they would stop us at that very day. And they requested for papers and all that. Give them papers, everything was complete. And then the next thing, we want to check your boot. Then I opened the boot while sitting in the driver's seat. The leader of that group immediately told me to get down from the car, of which I did, and I complied. And he said, please come. I went to him, and then he told me that, please, the next time a Nigerian police officer tells you to open the boot of your car, come down and do it yourself. I didn't understand what this man was saying. He told me the reason, and then I asked him, why are you saying that? He said, I'm telling you to do that because Nigerian policemen would put drugs in your vehicle while you are seated there at the driver's seat. My blood was cold immediately. It was cold because a lot of people have ended up in prisons. People have been swapped. Criminals in prisons have been swapped with innocent people in this manner. I mean, that day I was cold. I thanked him. I didn't know what to say. The anger in me left. I felt bitter for Nigeria that day, that how is this possible that the same people who are supposed to protect you are the ones setting you up? They are the ones extorting you. They are the ones putting your life at risk. They are the ones shooting at you. To me, the Nigerian police force needs overhauling. Right from right from the point they even enter the police force. I mean, we saw the reports that broke out some years back about how their training camps looked. their barracks. We see how their barracks are. Nobody goes into that kind of establishment and be trained for 1 year and you come out the same and you come out as a human being. It's not possible. The Nigerian police needs total overhauling, total change of their modus operandi, training and retraining, and a change of mindset totally. The ones that cannot cope with the new system, with that reform, they should be redeployed to other places. I've engaged the PRO of the police several times on Twitter, on X, asking one question: what is the Nigerian police doing to change the face of this force and make it better? This man has never replied. Only what I see every time from him is Ireo, Ireo. That's what I see. They are not interested in changing the system because the way it is, it benefits them. It benefits them. And it's unfortunate that if we don't get this right, this is the primary level of security we have in this country. If we don't get it right, we'll continue to make a mess of ourselves. So the Nigerian police needs serious reform and overhauling. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your submission. Just to corroborate what you said about police incriminating people, like asking you to open your boots and they incriminate you, put something there. There's actually this experience of two guys that gave police officer a lift. Unknowing to them, the guy has already planted bullets inside their car, and there's a police checkpoint at the front. So he dropped before the police checkpoint, and somehow those guys just decided to check their car before they reached the police checkpoint. Immediately, the guy dropped, that the officer dropped, and they saw the bullets inside their back seat. Uh, they disposed of the bullets, and when they got to the checkpoint, they were stopped. And the first place those police officers at the checkpoint went to search is where the police officer hid the bullets, and that tells something of police force. So, Dr. Barry, I can see you, and briefly, Dr. Barry.
Yes, thank you, SR, for this opportunity and for always coming prompt with issues affecting our country. I've been here and I've been listening to everyone. I want to urge all Nigerians to continue to air out because we're in a democracy. And by the time you refuse to speak up on the issues affecting your life as a citizen of a democratic country, oh boy, you are gone already. You are dead and living, which is not proper. We can see what Donald Trump is already doing in the United States. Repatriate all of them, let them come back to Africa and fix their country. There's nothing wrong about that. This police brutality, police corruption, police extortion of road users, and intimidation of victims, it's not today it started now. It's not today. Look at Omoyele Sowore. See the way he was embarrassed. Why are you arresting him? Or why are you detaining him? Is there anything criminal from what he did? There's nothing criminal about that. This is a Nigerian citizen who refused to bend to the criminality of the police. We know, yes, that we have some good police, but the number of bad ones have made the police bad. So practically, there's no Nigerian who does
I
not have
can't
an
hear anything. I
experience.
don't know if you can hear me.
I
Please,
can hear
somebody
you. Can you
confirm.
hear
Can you
me?
hear me?
I can hear
Yeah,
you.
all of we can hear you. Just
Please
a few
confirm.
minutes
Can you
for
hear
Dr.
me?
Barry to conclude.
Yes. So
Okay,
please,
this issue,
we
man.
call on
Maybe my
Nigerians
device for
to
network. I
continue
can't
to
hear
speak
anybody.
up.
Can you hear me?
Don't just sit down there and say you are not going to talk. Don't just sit down there and the criminality of the police force in Nigeria will be robbing you like a perfume. We must stand up and speak up to the truth in leadership. And this Nigerian police needs overhauling because the system of even formation of the police force is enough criminal. The DIGs, the AIGs, the police commissioner, the commanders, the DPOs and the constable and even the boys on the street. They make returns. Who do they make these returns to? Because if they don't make returns, they cannot be they cannot display such attitude on the daily basis without fear or favor, without even shame. In your own country, you see police checkpoint in the city of Abuja at night. When they stop you, the only thing they do, they'll just say, "Oh God, we did here." And if you don't give them, they say, "Okay, stop, back," and they'll start searching you or wasting your time. Is that the policing that we are talking about? How can a police return itself to be a beggar point machine? Where do they take all these monies to? And I hear that if you don't bring money back to the office, you will not be deployed the next morning on the streets. So police now is a revenue generation organization for their heads. And if you talk, police will get angry. Every police IG, every police IG has a style of operation to intimidate the Nigerian people. The police is supposed to be the protective element of the people, not to harass the people. It's even Nigerians that are even messing up. How many police is in Nigeria and how many citizens are we? Just like the election that was rigged in 2023. You say you voted for somebody and the election was rigged. Helped, supported, the rigging was supported by the Nigerian police. Why did they not come out and protest? Do you think if we have 100,000 people standing peacefully protesting, any police can shoot a gun? They no born in father well. You know, be Nigerian. Their own market is it different from our markets? Their own school is it different from our own schools where we take our children to? Do they have a special school fees they pay for their children or their wives? Come on, Nigerians, stand up and fix your country. The America you people are running to, some people stood up and got it fixed. Fix your country. Don't be afraid. Look at Omoyele Sowore. He's not afraid to be arrested. He's not afraid. If we have another 20,000 Nigerian young people like Omoyele moving like that, Nigeria will change by force. Don't expect anybody to change this country. The people in the police force, are they from Ghana? They're not even old men. They're young people like you and I who are on this space. Even people on this space today, if you employ them into the police, they will go and do the same thing. So what exactly is wrong with Nigerians? That you people cannot sit up and fix your country. Whatever you think you are looting, how much are you going to carry to your grave? You want to carry the money to build houses? How many houses can you live at a time? You want to buy the best cars in the world? How many cars can you drive at a time? You want to groove the best beautiful women at a time? How many girls can you groove at a time? So what exactly is wrong with Nigerians? What exactly is wrong with you people that you cannot sit down and do the right thing? You are not schooled, you want to be promoted where you work. You are not working, you want to collect salary. What is wrong with you people? Can't you fix your country yourself? The people in the police force, are they foreigners? Are they not Nigerians? Let me not take our time, but the truth remains that Nigeria is diving towards the position where we need to be our own police by ourselves. If the Nigerian police does not act, we will act for them. Moreover, we have seen where an election of a state government, a local government election was organized in a state without the police, and we didn't hear a shot. We didn't hear anybody die in River State. So if the police cannot stand up to their duty, they should be disbanded. It is clear. We can have National Guard and fix Nigeria. We can have National Guard and still be peaceful, because this police that we have in Nigeria right now is too criminal. The highest thing you can do is to arrest me. But the truth has
All
been
right,
said. You need to change.
Dr. Barry,
Yes.
thank
Yes,
you for
boss.
your
I
submission.
appreciate.
Thank you for your
I
submission.
appreciate.
Your energetic submission. I can tell you everybody can feel what's going on and what's happening. Shagun Olawe, yes, with us. Olo.
Yes, let me confirm
All right,
again
let's
if
have your
everybody can
submission.
hear
Yeah,
me.
yeah, we can hear you now, loud and clear.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, everybody on the spaces who have spoken. I can see that the emotion is everywhere. Everybody is angry. everybody. In there's one philosopher who said that somebody has to do something, but it's just incredibly pathetic that it has to be us. That's why I used the statement I used earlier that we just have to make this government irrelevant, because that is where they want to be. They want to be in the space of irrelevance. And but life has to move on. So who moves it? It is us. So I understand what why whose concern was that no, we can't just say government should be irrelevant. We can't just leave them. They have to work. They have to function. Yes, absolutely, they have to function. But where they have refused to function, and the only function they want to have is to be predators, and we have to be the prey. Man, come on, should we be prey? How many people have to jackpot from this country now? Well, how many of us are left now here? And how many really? And even the ones that are left, more are still willing to. If everybody sees opportunity today, a lot of people still wants to. They just want to escape because some of you saw the interview I had with Sean Kuti the other day, where he said Nigerians are not migrating; they are escaping. On objective media, they are escaping. Yes, and it's true because Nigeria is like an open, not like that's a simile. No, is a meta. Let's be metaphorical here. Nigeria is an open air concentration camp, and these people treat Nigeria like a they handle Nigeria. They operate it like a poultry where they just run it like okay, these are chickens, just breed them. Let this one start laying egg. We just want to pick the eggs and slaughter them whenever we like and eat. That's the way they treat us. And the moment we realize that, what else do we have to do? Why, due respect to you, you were a police officer before you left Nigeria. And the question is, are you impressed after you left about what the police force is doing? And did you not see that Nigerians already made efforts to see how they could force the police to work, force the government to function, force everything that should work to work, but it's not happening?
No,
Should we
no, no,
therefore
no.
just continue to hold? No, we have
Sorry, a
to
question.
just do
Sorry,
something.
sorry,
So
sorry.
I feel your pain, YO, and I know that you really wish that these things work. And I also heard where you talked about Muyiwa Odejobi always typing Ireo, Ireo. Ire is signing off. When somebody is typing Ireo, he's simply signing off because he's also overwhelmed. Muyiwa Odejobi is overwhelmed. In cases where he doesn't know what to do again, he just writes Ireo and signs off. But the situation doesn't change after typing Ire. There's really no Ire afterwards. It's just more and more issues following. That's exactly where the issue is. Overwhelmed too. Even the IGP, they just want to hang on. They can't change anything. So it now boils down to citizens taking the situation. I can feel the pain. Why, when you said you were a police officer, even with you having body cam, it went off, and from the way you spoke, you really weren't cool with your body cam going off. Even your colleague too, like, oh, why? What happened? That is the way it should be. But Nigerians, even if you give Nigeria police officer, give them that body cam today. No, maybe you are feeling bad that your body cam went off. Give average Nigeria police officer a body cam now. Now them go come out. In fact, they will damage it and say, oh, something happened. They bought fake for us. they will come up with a story. They don't want it to work. Okay, let me ask a question. Do you know that today there are cameras picking numbers on vehicle plates, and they are determining whether your papers are expired? And they will send you a message that your paper is expired, and they will send you fine. They will put fine whenever you want to renew the document. There are cameras functioning in Lagos, picking plate numbers where when your document, your vehicle documents expire. There are cameras functioning for that purpose, but there are no cameras for other purposes. There are no cameras picking when something goes wrong. There are no cameras functioning for when you need information about something that went wrong. But there is camera working efficiently if your paper expire. It is by design. It is by design from the stable of our so-called leaders. So I feel the pain of everybody. I feel that's exactly why we have to design an intervention for ourselves, no matter what. I'm not saying they have to be irrelevant completely, but I'm saying until they realize that we have made them irrelevant and they want to start functioning again. That is the point that I'm making. And I want to use this avenue to say, citizens, let us, anything you know, because already we are providing everything for ourselves. Anything that you know in your area, in your street, your neighborhood, your local government area, your zone, your state, that you see that is not functioning and you have capacity to bring yourself together and do it. I beg, if you die, God forbid, it is an if, still is a peradventure thing. If, God forbid, there's no justice. Bola Ige died, there's no justice. Even justice, Bola Ige had no justice. If a justice did not get justice, Bamishe's matter is still there. We are still pursuing till tomorrow. Mubarak's matter is still there. We are still pursuing. Now we have to go and contribute among ourselves to go and bury Mubarak, killed by police stray bullet. They don't want to be responsible for anything. The state does not want to be responsible even for impunity and whatever is caused by their agents. They only want, see, all these people, all their agencies are just set out as revenue generating agencies. They are not set up to be responsible for anybody. And that is the point we have to realize. Until, if you are not yet at that point of this realization, well, we'll wait for your own story when you have encounter with them. I pause it for now. Thank you so much.
I thank you very much for your submission and for staying to the beginning of the discussion, even though you are in a very not so comfortable area. And I think this will be all for today. Thank you all for joining. And we saw we cannot take everybody who is requesting to speak because of our time. We actually overshoot the time today. It's supposed to be 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. But the topic is so touching that we had to extend the time till now. We're very sorry to everybody. And